Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Right now, today, how many times have you already lost control? Maybe you said something you shouldn't have. Maybe a text message ruined your morning. Maybe you checked your bank account and felt that quiet, familiar shame. Maybe your mind has already spiraled 3 times before you even had your first coffee. And here's what nobody talks about. That's not weakness. That's not a character flaw. That's what happens when nobody ever taught you how to own yourself. But there was a man, over 2,000 years ago, who figured it out. And the insane part? He figured it out in chains. His name was Epictetus, and he was born property. Not a person, property. He couldn't choose where he slept, couldn't choose what he ate. His body literally belonged to someone else, and yet, this man became one of the most powerful minds in human history. Not because his circumstances changed, because he changed. He discovered something so precise, so devastatingly simple, that Roman emperors eventually studied under people who studied under him. And that thing he discovered? It comes down to 4 areas of your life. 4 places where you are hemorrhaging power every single day without knowing it. Your mouth, your mood, your money, your mind. The 4 M's. Master these 4. And I mean genuinely master them. Not motivational poster mastery. Real life, in the trenches mastery. And everything changes. Your relationships, your finances, your mental health, your future. Neglect them, and no amount of hustle, no strategy, no opportunity will save you. Because a man who can't govern himself can't govern anything. Stay with me through this entire video. Every section builds on the last, and I'm going to give you things you can actually use today. Not theory, not fluff. And before we go any further, if content like this is what you're hungry for, hit subscribe right now. I'm building something here for people who are done being passengers in their own lives. You're going to want to be part of this. Drop in the comments right now, which of the 4 M's is your biggest battle? Mouth, mood, money, or mind? I read every single one. Let's go. Pillar 1. Master your mouth. The gateway. Nobody guards. Here's something that will make you slightly uncomfortable if you think about it honestly. Think about the last time you said something you immediately regretted. Not years ago, recently, maybe last week, maybe yesterday. The words just left before your brain could catch them. And you watched the damage happen in real time. The shift in someone's face. The silence that followed. In that moment, your mouth was faster than your wisdom. And Seneca, one of the sharpest Stoic minds Rome ever produced, a man who sat in the most politically dangerous room in the ancient world, spent years studying exactly that dynamic. He watched senators build empires with single sentences. He watched friendships of 20 years collapse in one careless conversation. He watched men die because of words spoken in anger, and then he turned that same observation on himself. What he found was this: every time you speak, you are either becoming someone more or someone less. There is no neutral conversation. Every word is a small act of construction or demolition, and most of us are unconsciously tearing ourselves down with our own mouths. Think about that. Not just the damage to others, the damage to you. Every time you gossip, you train your brain to find fault. Every time you complain without intention, you're wiring yourself toward helplessness. Every time you speak impulsively in an emotional moment, you erode your own self-trust, because somewhere inside, you know better. But here's where it gets interesting. The Stoics didn't just preach silence. They developed a precision filter. Before speaking, especially when emotions were running hot, they asked themselves 3 questions. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If the answer to any one of those was no, they closed their mouth. Full stop. That's not weakness. In a world of reactive, impulsive, dopamine-addicted communication, deliberate silence is one of the most powerful things a human being can do. Marcus Aurelius wrote about being like a rocky headland. Waves crash against it constantly, and it just stands, unmoved. And eventually the water settles around it. That's what your controlled speech becomes to the people in your life. The thing that doesn't crack under pressure. the voice that people actually listen to, because it doesn't come cheap. Now here's the practice. For the next 7 days, specifically in high-emotion conversations, before you respond, take 3 slow breaths. 1 breath, what am I actually feeling? 2nd breath, what is the other person feeling? 3rd breath, what words here serve everyone the best? It sounds slow. It feels awkward the first few times. But what happens is remarkable. People start responding to you differently. They lean in. They trust you more. Not because you became more eloquent. Because you became more intentional. And here's the loop that closes on itself beautifully. Every verbal promise you keep builds self-trust. Every time you refuse to join in on gossip, your self-respect quietly rises. Every kind word you choose, genuinely choose, trains your nervous system to look for good things in people. Your mouth isn't just a communication tool, it's a reprogramming device. And right now, most people are using it against themselves. Drop this below to lock it in. I speak with power, not impulse. Make it your default, not a mantra, a standard. Pillar 2, master your mood. You are the meteorologist, not the weather. I want you to imagine something for a second. You wake up tomorrow, and someone else controls the emotional weather inside your head. Some days they pick stormy, consuming anger. Other days cold, heavy fog. Occasionally, if you're lucky, they dial in some sunshine. But you never know what you're going to get, and you have no say in it whatsoever. Now here's the uncomfortable question. Isn't that basically how you're already living? Someone cuts you off in traffic. Storm. Your boss sends a vague email. Fog. A friend doesn't respond to your message. Suddenly you're constructing an entire narrative about how they don't care about you. The situation is neutral. The spiral is yours. Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist who survived 4 Nazi concentration camps. He lost nearly everything a human being can lose. And inside that horror, he arrived at the same conclusion as the Stoics, separated by 2,000 years, but arriving at identical truth. Between what happens to you and how you respond, there is a space. And in that space is everything. Read that again slowly, because that space is real. It exists inside you right now. Most people never find it because they've never looked for it. They go from trigger to reaction so fast, they genuinely believe they had no choice. You always have a choice. The Stoics called this the discipline of desire, not wanting less, but wanting what is, while working deliberately on what can be changed. When you genuinely internalize this, your mood stops being something that happens to you and starts being something you participate in creating. Here's the thing about emotions most people get wrong. Emotions are not facts. They are interpretations. They are your mind's story about what the facts mean. The person who didn't text you back, that's a fact. The story that they hate you, you're being abandoned, you're not worth responding to. That's your mind doing improv with incomplete data. What if they're overwhelmed at work? What if their phone died? What if they're actually planning something for you? Same silence. Completely different emotional experience. Because the experience was never about the silence. It was about the story. This is the practice Marcus Aurelius did every single morning. He would sit with himself and acknowledge, today will be hard. People will be difficult. Things will go wrong. And then instead of dreading it, he reframed it. Today will give me opportunities to practice who I'm becoming. That's not toxic positivity. That's not pretending pain doesn't exist. That's using your interpretive power on purpose. Here's an engagement trigger I want you to sit with. Think about something stressing you right now, something real. Now do this. Separate the facts from the story. Write it down if you can. Facts on one side, your narrative on the other. Most people discover something shocking. The facts are far more manageable than the story they've built around them. This is the question I want you to answer in the comments. What is one story your mind tells you on repeat? And what's the actual fact underneath it? Be honest. This community is built on people who are willing to go there. The Stoics ended each day with a reflection. What emotions did I experience today? Which ones served me? Which ones controlled me? What would I do differently? That's not therapy. That's maintenance. Like oil in an engine, you do it daily or things start grinding. When you develop this practice, something shifts permanently. You stop fearing your emotions because you know you can navigate them. You stop avoiding hard conversations because you trust yourself inside them. And you become, almost magnetically, the calm presence that other people want near them during chaos. Type below if this one hit. I control my emotions, they don't control me. Pillar 3, master your money. Every dollar is a vote on who you're becoming. Here is a truth that will sting if you let it. Your bank statement is a biography. It tells the story of what you actually value, not what you say you value, not your vision board, not your intentions, where the money actually went. Seneca was one of the wealthiest men in Rome, not moderately wealthy, staggeringly wealthy, and he wrote this: "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." But he didn't just write it, he tested it. Regularly, he would sleep on the floor, eat plain food, strip back every luxury for a period of time, not as punishment, as practice. He was training himself to know, at a cellular level, that his peace was not dependent on his possessions. Think about the power in that. Now, think about your last impulse purchase. Not the one you're proud of, the other one. The thing that's sitting somewhere in your house right now, barely touched. In that moment of buying, what were you actually trying to purchase? Because it wasn't the item, it was a feeling. Maybe comfort, because something was stressing you. Maybe status, because you wanted to be perceived differently. Maybe excitement, because life felt flat. Maybe acceptance, because you wanted to fit in somewhere. The item was just the vehicle. The feeling was the destination. And here's the brutal part. Most impulse spending doesn't even deliver the feeling. It delivers a brief hit, followed by emptiness, sometimes followed by guilt. So you're broke, and you still feel the same way you did before. This is the Stoic concept of preferred indifference. Money is good to have. It creates options. It reduces certain kinds of suffering. But the moment it becomes something you need for your sense of self, it owns you. Full stop. Here is a practice that will change your financial life more than any budgeting app. Before any non-essential purchase, ask yourself one question. What feeling am I trying to buy? Then try to get that feeling without spending first. Often, not always, but often, you'll find you can. And when you can't, when the purchase genuinely aligns with your actual values, you'll spend without guilt and feel it in your body. I started keeping a simple 3-column tracker. Purchase, reason, feeling after. What I found inside a month changed my entire relationship with money. The spending that brought real satisfaction. Books that shifted my thinking. Experiences with people I love. Tools that made my work better. Those always aligned with something I genuinely value. The emotional spending, the status purchases, the treat-yourself buys that were really just numbing, consistently hollow. The Stoics also tied money directly to purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote about rising to the work of a human being, not a paycheck collector, a human being. When you see your work as contribution, as genuine service to something beyond yourself, money becomes a natural byproduct instead of the desperate goal, and the quality of what you produce changes completely. True financial mastery is not about accumulation, it is about freedom. Enough freedom to say no to things that compromise you. Enough freedom to take a risk on something that matters. Enough freedom to be generous without calculating the cost. That is what money is for. Pillar 4, master your mind. The only kingdom that cannot be taken from you. Your mind is a garden. Every thought you entertain, everyone you let linger, argue with, feed, is a seed. And you are going to harvest whatever you've been planting. No exceptions, no delays, no refunds. Right now, as you're watching this, thousands of thoughts are competing for your attention. Anxieties about the future, regrets reaching back from the past, judgments about what you're hearing, plans for later today, random intrusive noise that serves absolutely no function. Most people spend their entire lives as passive spectators of this, watching the mental weather roll in and out, convinced they have no say in it. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." He wasn't just talking about things, he was talking about the mind. When you stop entertaining every thought that knocks on the door of your consciousness, when you become selective, intentional, sovereign over your mental space, you become rich in a way no bank balance can replicate. Here's the comparison that breaks most people open when they really sit with it. You would not let a stranger walk into your home and rearrange your furniture. You'd stop them at the door. And yet, you let random thoughts walk into your mind and rearrange your entire emotional architecture. A single unexamined fear can ruin a day. An old insecurity can derail a week. A repeated narrative about who you are and what you deserve can quietly hollow out a decade. The Stoics called the practice of mental guardianship prosoch. Constant, vigilant attention to your own thought patterns, not in a paranoid, exhausting way. Think of it more like being a thoughtful security guard for your own mind. Some thoughts get in, some don't, and you are the one who decides. Here's your practical tool. For the next 7 days, every time you catch yourself inside a negative thought spiral, stop and ask 2 questions. Is this thought building the person I want to become, or tearing them down? And then, what's a more useful thought for this exact situation? Not a fake positive thought, a useful one. This is terrible and there's nothing I can do. Destructive. This is hard and I need to find the best path forward. Same situation, completely different trajectory. Marcus Aurelius understood this so clearly he wrote it to himself in private journals he never planned to publish. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. He ran an empire. He faced wars, plagues, betrayal, and the death of people he loved. And his consistent daily practice was this: returning mental sovereignty to himself. Not control over external events, control over his interpretation of them. That's the discipline, and it's available to you right now, today. The Stoic concept here is the discipline of judgment, learning to surgically separate facts from the stories you tell about facts. A fact: it's raining. A story: this ruins everything. A fact: they didn't respond. A story: I don't matter to them. The story is where your suffering lives, and you wrote that story, which means you can rewrite it. Drop this in the comments to claim your ground. I am the architect of my mind, not a wish, a declaration. The ripple. When all 4 align, what nobody tells you about real transformation. Here's what nobody tells you about building these 4 pillars. It doesn't feel like a revolution. It feels like Tuesday. A pause before you speak, a breath before you react, a question before you buy, a redirection before you spiral. Small, unremarkable, daily, and then 6 months later, you look back and you cannot recognize the person you used to be. I want to tell you about a woman. I'll call her Sarah, a single mother who came to one of my events completely depleted. She was in debt that felt unsurvivable. She was snapping at her kids over things that didn't matter. She hadn't slept properly in months. And she had this look. I've seen it many times. The look of someone who has been white-knuckling life and is about to lose their grip. 6 months after applying these principles, not perfectly, not all at once, incrementally, she sent me a message that I genuinely struggled to read without emotion. The debt was handled, not magically, through disciplined, values-aligned choices. A small side business, built because she reconnected to what she actually had to offer. Her relationship with her children was transformed. Not because she became a different mother, but because she stopped speaking from exhaustion and started speaking from intention. And she said something I want you to hold on to. I feel like myself again. Not a new self, herself. The self that was always there underneath the chaos. That's what this is actually about. Not self-improvement in the motivational poster sense. Excavation. Getting back to who you actually are before the world layered its noise on top of you. The Stoics called it sympathia, the interconnectedness of all things, and it applies here. When you master your mouth, you reduce conflict in your relationships. When you regulate your mood, you create safety for the people around you. When you handle money wisely, you model something for everyone watching you. When you direct your mind constructively, you become a person who generates solutions instead of amplifying problems. Your inner work is never just yours, it radiates. And the most profound shift of all, the one that redefines everything, is when difficulty stops feeling like something that happens to you and starts feeling like something that sharpens you. Every hard conversation becomes a mouth mastery rep. Every stressful moment is mood mastery in the gym. Every financial temptation is practice. Every anxious thought is an opportunity to exercise sovereignty. You stop being a victim of your life. You become a practitioner of it. If you're ready to make that shift, I want you to comment this. Every challenge is my chance to grow stronger. Let this community know you're in. Closing. The choice that changes everything. We started with a slave. A man who owned nothing. Not his freedom, not his future, not his body. A man who by every external measure had no power whatsoever. And yet Epictetus became the most internally free person in the room. Every room. Because he understood something that took me years to fully absorb. Your circumstances are not your prison. Your unexamined inner world is. The 4 pillars, mouth, mood, money, mind, are not self-help categories. They are the 4 walls of your sovereignty. Master them, and nothing outside of you can hold you for long. Neglect them, and it doesn't matter what else you achieve. You've learned today that your words are not just communication. They're construction. That your emotions are not facts. They're interpretations you can rewrite. That your money is not just currency. It's a confession of your values. And that your mind is not just a thought generator. It's a garden you're responsible for tending. This is not about becoming perfect. Perfection is a fantasy that keeps people paralyzed. This is about becoming intentional. Intentional in how you speak. Intentional in how you feel. Intentional in how you spend. Intentional in what you think about. The Stoics faced things we can barely imagine. Empires crumbling. Plagues that took their children. Political betrayal that ended lives. They didn't have easy lives. But they had something more valuable than ease. They had inner resources that couldn't be taken from them. That same inheritance is yours. Right now. Today. 6 months from now, you will be one of 2 people. The same person, carrying the same weight, wondering why nothing changes. Or someone who made a decision, a real one, not a vague intention, and quietly, consistently, showed up for themselves. The gap between those 2 people isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't circumstances. It's a series of small, daily choices. Starting with this one. Epictetus said, "No one can hurt you without your permission." Today, right now, you withdraw that permission, not from the world, from the uncontrolled version of yourself that has been handing that permission out freely. The journey from reaction to response, from chaos to intentional calm, from being owned by your impulses to owning yourself. It begins now, not after the video, not tomorrow. Now. If this landed for you, and I mean really landed, do something with that. Share this with one person who needs to hear it. Hit subscribe because we go deep here every single week, and this is exactly the kind of community that changes trajectories. And leave this final declaration in the comments below. Say it like you mean it. Today, I choose mastery over mediocrity, intention over reaction, freedom over slavery to my own impulses. The ancient Stoics lived it. Sarah lived it. And now it's your turn. Go.